So I saw the stock was down pointedly this morning. Is that because they were supported that much by President Trump and his followers?
So look, President Trump had 88 million followers on Twitter. There is no question that that drove a lot of traffic on the site itself. If you ask any Twitter executive, though, they would talk about how broad Twitter is across the world, that it doesn't just depend on President Trump. But, quarter after quarter, we would ask the Twitter executives, when President Trump is perhaps no longer president, does that impact your service? Another reason the stock could be down today is that we are expecting, because of these decisions, that the president and potentially a number of different Republican lawmakers are going to make Section 230 and railing against big tech a big part of the president's last few days in office. Obviously, he is incensed by this. He's not the only one that has been cut off from Twitter. But what is interesting, of course, is the debate that has now been ignited around the world about the power of these platforms. Twitter has banned the president indefinitely. That's going to put pressure on Facebook to ban the president indefinitely as well. He's been suspended on Facebook, and Mark Zuckerberg has said that will last at least the next couple of weeks. But what happens after the inauguration? Will there be more pressure then to ban President Trump or Citizen Trump from the platform as well? Unquestionably, the debate has begun about the power of these platforms. If Twitter and Facebook can, in a second, just silence the president, cut him off from his followers, is that simply too much power? Is the problem not just the president himself, but the power of the platforms as well?
Yeah, at the same time, it's not limited to social media, strictly speaking. Amazon got hit because they actually took Parler down, right?
Absolutely. That is huge. Amazon Web Services over the weekend, in speaking with Parler, warned them that they were seeing violent content on there, that Parler didn't have a good enough plan to moderate that content. So now Amazon Web Services has cut off Parler as well. That means Parler doesn't really have anywhere to go, at least for the next few days. They've said they're going to be offline for as much as a week. Certainly they can find another web hosting platform, but it just goes to show the power that these companies have. And I just want to point out that there isn't a legal issue here. These are private companies that can do business with whoever they want, but there is a principle issue. Are these platforms truly neutral platforms, or does this instance prove that they are not truly neutral platforms? I mean, if you look at how these decisions are made, it came down to Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey, two men who simply had the power to decide whether the president would be on the platform or not. And that is something that certainly needs to be debated, and we need to be asking the question, is this appropriate? And what's next? What will the consequences of these decisions be?